a tour of the shelter, not just to see the dogs, but also the cats.
The flow in is really hard to match, the flow out.
But now the state agriculture department is investigating what happened to some of the cats here and whether some wound up back on the streets without being spayed or neutered. So do you have firsthand knowledge that some cats were released without being fixed?
There are cats that are released without being fixed.
Sherry Self came on board as a veterinary technician around the same time Barking Hound Village Foundation took over management of the shelter. Foundation Director David York fired her in October, saying she falsified her timesheet. She says she didn't understand a new timesheet system. Ms. Self is the latest former employee to complain to the I-Team on the record about the handling of animals at the overcrowded shelter, this time involving more than 80 cats just like these, which were once wild or feral cats. What is the harm in releasing a feral cat without fixing her?
Because they're going to double, triple, and quadruple their population in a matter of a few short months to a year.
Former kennel manager Miles Swain says he became suspicious back on April the 18th when he showed up for work to discover a batch of 17 cats no longer in the kennel.
I asked Gere, all the cats are missing. Do we know where the cats are? And she said, oh, a new rescue group took them. 9 Lives Rescue. It's a new group newly formed.
But when the 27-year kennel veteran pointed out that he could find no paperwork listing 9 Lives, Mr. Swain says he watched his boss fill out this rescue group application form. Dated April 18th, it lists Gere Alexander's mother as the contact person and a Houston Mill Road, Atlanta address for the rescue group. 3 months later, Mr. Swain was fired after a dog was mistakenly euthanized. All rescue groups have to be state licensed. According to the State Department of Agriculture, 9 Lives is not. Yet Mr. Swain says before he left in late July, 9 Lives took 84 cats.
There's not one single sheet for any of these 84 cats showing that they took them.
The state says each cat should have a form like this detailing where it went. But we got none of those forms when we asked the county for all records involving 9 Lives. And instead of the 9 Lives Rescue Group application Mr. Swain copied, the county gave us this one, a different rescue group application form filled out by Ms. Alexander, also dated April 18th, listing Barking Hound Village Foundation as the rescue group at the Fulton County Animal Shelter address with 9 Lives in parentheses. As the manager of the shelter, Barking Hound is allowed to rescue animals. We handed Ms. Alexander the application Mr. Swain says she filled out first.
I filled that out, and I have no idea what this is.
It's in your handwriting.
It's in someone's handwriting.
Do you recognize that handwriting?
Randy, we're going to need to investigate what's going on, and we will have to comment at a later date.
A spokesman later said the application Mr. Swain gave us was a first draft. But Miles Swain provided us a CD-ROM showing how all 84 cats were logged into the shelter computer system up until the time he was fired. According to these records, for every cat, 9 Lives Rescue is listed at the Houston Mill address from that first application. Regardless, Ms. Alexander says all the cats were fixed.
So there'd be a record.
I'm sure there would be a record.
The state of Georgia requires records when a rescue group picks up an animal from a government shelter. The rescue group has to have a signed statement from a veterinarian for each animal that's spayed or neutered. We never got those when we asked the county for all 9 Lives records. And when we asked Barking Hound Village Foundation for those sterilization records, we got this statement instead. We have confirmed that a portion of these feral cats were spayed and neutered at the shelter before being relocated. The remainder of these cats were entrusted to dedicated volunteers who then assumed the responsibility of having the cats spayed or neutered before relocating them to an appropriate feral colony or farm. The state says no rescue group can transfer responsibility to anyone else.
So where are these 84 cats? Wandering around somewhere in Fulton County?
Well, up until she resigned, Ms. Alexander says 9 Lives had actually removed more than 100 cats from the shelter. Ag inspectors say they found the facility clean this week and, quote, as of today, the shelter is properly documenting all incoming and outgoing animals. As of today.
Now, key words,
former
right?
employees say that they think the reason the cats were taken out rather than fixed and neutered first is because they wanted to improve the euthanasia rates there at the shelter. It's a very controversial number, the number of dogs and cats you put down. Right. And if you release the cats rather than euthanizing them, your numbers look better.
Sounds like we haven't heard the last of this. Right.